Okay, we have returned. Let's start the next case. This is number 14. Pride comes before the fall. Matthew, I can't believe Penelope ran off with a musketeer. Not when we're this close to getting home. How could this happen? Now I understand why Chief Scott would say this job's like herding cats. In Penelope's defense, this is the first time she's ever been in love. It's a whole new world opening up to her. But what about her job? Penelope's my assistant. How am I going to juggle all the extra work while she's gallivanting with some musketeer? Never mind that. What about her contract with Time? It clearly states that you can't settle down in the past. It will be a historical disaster. Alright everybody, settle down. We'll get Penelope back. She and Alexander came to the Ottoman Empire because the musketeer had a letter to deliver. They're probably still here. But it's such a big empire. Where do we begin? The Ottoman Empire is indeed very vast and impressively prosperous. Sultans actually had 2 palaces, one in the capital and a second one around here in the hilly countryside. At this time of year, the Sultan would be in his second palace. Oh, like a vacation palace? My parents also have a second residence outside of the city. This palace is a good place to start looking for Penelope, Matthew. Wait for me, Matthew. I'm all dressed up as a Swiss guard to accompany you to the palace. Still got the first star. Matthew, a body's been impaled on that statue. Do you think the man fell from that balcony above the statue? No, you're right. His head is also bloody, so someone hit him in the head and then pushed him off the balcony. Matthew, this was murder. Oh no, that's the Grand Vizier Ibrahim. I cannot stay here. Wait, who was that woman, Matthew? It would have been good to talk to her. She said the victim is Grand Vizier Ibrahim. That's a start. Viziers were the Sultan's right hand, Matthew, and had lots of power, which means this murder is too important to walk away from. We must investigate before searching for Penelope. We might as well focus on the sash she found. Hopefully it leads to a suspect who won't run away. The sash is some kind of emblem. Let's search our history books to find out what it refers to. I'll be sure to tell Amy about this murder while you send the Vizier's body to Janice, Matthew. And I got the star, so maybe I might as well just examine the emblem. Got the 9 in time. Eunuch emblem. According to our history books, the emblem on this sash is the symbol for eunuchs, Matthew. Eunuchs would guard the women of the Sultan's harem. This sash must belong to the current guard. Bashir. I agree, Matthew. Since this sash was on our crime scene, it's possible this eunuch witnessed the murder. Let's go find him. I'll be getting some more stars, so sit tight, folks. Alright. I got 6 stars, so let's get the Bashir's word. Salam, eunuch. Salam, I am Bashir. You are Swiss guards here because of the vizier's death? Yes, we found your sash in the courtyard. Did you perchance see anything that could help us find the assassin? No, I walked across the yard while sipping apple tea. Nothing seemed odd. And what about the Sultan? Where can we find him? Suleiman the Magnificent must be in the library on the first floor. The enlightened reader has a thirst for knowledge, so he is often there. Thank you, Bashir. Let's get to the library, Matthew. Pottery pieces. Got it. The Sultan isn't here, Matthew. But look, that's the balcony from which the killer pushed the vizier. So there must be clues around. Like this bowl. How did it tip over? Searching through it could provide a lead. And what are these broken pieces? Best put them back together. But what's so special about this wardrobe, Matthew? Matthew, you're right. Someone or something is inside. Let's open this wardrobe. As a matter of fact, I better get some more stars, so sit tight, everybody. Alright. Right? Okay, Matthew, time to see who... You ran away when you saw the Grand Vizier impaled. Please, I am the Sultan's favorite concubine, Roxolana, and have nothing to do with this dreadful event. That is yet to be determined. Please step out of your hiding spot, Roxolana. We have some questions for you. All right. Now that we got you out of your hiding spot, Roxolana, could you explain why you ran away from us in the first place? I apologize for that, truly. It was just too gruesome. Why were you in the courtyard? I was on my way to meet Sultan Suleiman. He requested my counsel. What about the Vizier? Would he also seek your advice? No. Truth be told, Ibrahim frightened me. People often compared him to a serpent, which he liked. He thought of them as majestic, cunning, and feared. And yet it was seeing Ibrahim impaled on that statue that terrified me most. Don't worry, Roxolana. Guard Matthew will find who did this. Got it. Wax seal. Matthew, there is a stamp among those pastries. It must be Suleiman's. See, the motif is his royal signature, from what Orlando... Ah, the Swiss Guard. I heard you were in charge of unmasking Ibrahim's killer, although I did not expect to find you playing with my seal. Sultan Suleiman? I trust you will quickly catch Ibrahim's assassin. Of course. Sultan Suleiman, we would be most grateful if you would graciously assist us by answering some questions. Most patient one, Sultan Suleiman, thank you for granting us an audience. We wish to learn everything concerning your Vizier. The Vizier? I'll allow it. Ibrahim was my oldest friend and my greatest confidant. He was one of the few I could trust. Do you know who could have wanted him dead? Violence always follows power, Guard Matthew. The Vizier and I shared many enemies, too many to keep track of. We will be sure to uncover the one responsible for this death, most gracious one. Matthew, there's blood on this vase. And given that this is the place where the victim was hit over the head and thrown from the balcony, I'd bet this vase is what the killer used to hit him with. Let's get it to Theo to be sure. Okay, that's 3 hours. So I'll let the victim's body run its course along with the vase, and I'll see you guys when these two are done. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the victim's body right now. I knew Penelope had a taste for the dramatic, Matthew, but I never thought she'd actually run off with a musketeer. This job is already full of drama and extraordinary experiences. I can't imagine ever throwing it away. Well, love makes people do stupid things, I should know. Really? What stupid things did you do, Janice? Oh, too many to mention, but no love compared to holding Leah, my first child, in my arms. Anyway, you have a murder to solve, Matthew. As you know, your victim was hit in the head, but what killed him was being impaled on the statue's sword after a fall from the balcony. I found traces of stuffed melon on his clothes, but none in his torn stomach, which means it's your killer who had some on their hands when they pushed the Vizier. As a local delicacy, the stuffing is made with lamb, rice, and spices, which is then cooked in a carved melon. Sounds delicious. Now we know that our killer enjoys stuffed melon, Matthew. Matthew, I can't help but secretly wish Penelope gets her happily ever after. I mean, this is the girl who was too shy to correct me when I'd mispronounced her name as Pianolope. But now here she is, disregarding rules and reason to be with her love. She crosses centuries to be with Alexander, while I can't even cross a doorstep to tell come on, Theo. I have a bet with Jack that you and Zara will get together. Make a move. Let's just focus on the vase you sent me, alright? The blood was your victim's, which means you were right in thinking this vase is what your killer used to hit the Vizier with. But that's not all. I also found traces of rose water. As you may guess, it's made by steeping rose petals in water. You can use it to wash your hands, or as an antiseptic. I asked Janice, and she didn't find any traces of rose water on your victim. So your killer is the one who uses this cosmetic. I still marvel at how fast you can get all this information. We will catch this rosewater using killer in no time, Matthew. Matthew, we came to the Ottoman Empire to look for Penelope and her dashing musketeer. Instead, we discovered the Grand Vizier's dead body impaled on a statue. He was pushed from the library's balcony, located just above the statue. We met the Sultan, Suleiman, who said he and the Vizier both had many enemies. Meanwhile, Suleiman's favorite concubine, Roxolana, said the Vizier prided himself in being compared to a serpent, and that many feared him. We also met Bashir, the eunuch. He says he didn't see anything, and I don't... Squawk Vizier. Matthew, do you hear that? Squawk, kill the Vizier, kill the Vizier. A parrot. We'll begin Chapter 2 of Pride Comes Before the Fall after this. Okay, we are back. Let's start Chapter 2. Pride Goes Before the Fall. We last left off with this. This one. Squawk, follow me, kill the Vizier. Matthew, it's a talking parrot talking about killing the Vizier. Kill the Vizier, kill the Vizier. What? Maybe it witnessed the murder. What if... Matthew, do you think the bird might be smart enough to tell us if it saw something? I agree, we should catch it. Quick, it flew off in that direction. Matthew, we ran up this hill because the bird seemed to land around here, but I don't see it. Hey, who are you? Why are you at the Royal Springs? We're the Swiss Guard, here to investigate the Grand Vizier's murder, and that parrot on your shoulder led us here. Sephora? She's the Vizier's pet parrot. Dunno what'll happen to her now that he's dead. Guess she'll stay with me since I'm her handler. Vizier dead. What? Pushed, fell to death. Young man, we believe this parrot saw the murder, or at least heard someone talk about it. Do you think Sephora can tell us what she saw and heard? Yes, she's very clever. You never met a parrot like Sephora. Well, I never thought we'd interrogate a parrot, Guard Matthew, but who's to say she can't give us a lead? Alright, Sensei, can you make the Vizier's parrot talk? Sephora's really clever, Guard Matthew. You can just ask her your questions. Okay, so, Sephora, what happened to the Vizier? Vizier dead. Walk, push, fell to death. But did you see who pushed him? Walk, keep secret, keep secret. Sephora is a bit stubborn, Guard Matthew. Looks like she doesn't want to talk right now. But if she does say something, I'll come find you, Guard Matthew. I'm not of much help either. You probably already know that the Vizier would often come to the thermal springs. I think he forgot his bathrobe here the last time he came. Really? Then Guard Matthew and I will take a look around the springs immediately. Here it is. The kid was right, Matthew. That bathrobe must have belonged to the Vizier. It's in the same style as his clothes. I agree, searching through his pocket could prove useful. But what's this painting? It's of the springs. And it clearly depicts the Vizier in a humiliating light. You're right, Matthew, this painting would have taken weeks to make. So whoever did this must have had a serious grudge against our victim. Gathering a sample of those herbs on the painting could tell us who painted it. Moment, folks. Okay, let's examine the painting now. I got 4 stars from the crime scene. But yeah, that is embarrassing. If the townspeople caught him naked. That is pretty embarrassing. And they got it. They hit the nail on the head. Humiliating. Let's get those herbs from the disrespectful painting of the Vizier under a microscope. Apple tea leaves. The herbs on the Vizier's embarrassing painting were apple tea leaves. You're right, Matthew. The eunuch said he drinks apple tea, so Bashir made this painting. The image is so humiliating. Bashir obviously meant it as payback for something. Let's ask him about it. Bashir, we know this painting of the Vizier is your creation. I am proud of that painting. I simply hope the Vizier saw it before he died. What made you so defiant against the Vizier? He brought it on himself. The Vizier is the one who started this whole conflict. What conflict? The mean jokes. The Vizier always sought to humiliate me. He would ask me embarrassing questions in front of the girls or knock my hat off my head. And then one day, as I was standing guard, the Vizier emptied a chamber pot on my head. He was at one of the balconies, and when I looked up, he laughed. I tried to clean myself with rose water. I even asked Suleiman the Magnificent to use some of his, but the stink lingered for days. It was impossible for me to retaliate on the Vizier's person, of course, but I am creative, and once the painting was done, I displayed it for all to see. Well, we hope your resentment is visible solely in art and not in action, Bashir. Got it. A calligraphy. Okay. There is a paper in the victim's bathrobe pocket, Matthew. I wonder what that Ottoman text says. Let's get it to Penelope. Oh, well, since Penelope's run off with the musketeer, we have to send this text to Orlando, Matthew. And I'll see you guys in 12 hours when this calligraphy runs its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the calligraphy. Dear me, Matthew, translating that Ottoman text without Penelope proved to be quite challenging. Although I don't imagine she's missing work, young love is a powerful thing. Penelope's out there with Alexander, thinking she can survive on love alone. My husband and I were like that. He made me feel so complete. He somehow convinced me to hike up Mount Karasimbi, the highest Rwandan volcano. Said it would be the adventure of a lifetime. I ended up spraining my ankle, and he had to carry me for half the trek. But he'd repeat that our love gave him all the strength he needed. Anyway, Matthew, your text. It was actually a poem by Firuzi, a famous Ottoman poet. Bear with me, my translation skills are slightly rusty. Here it is. Anger shall guide my trembling hands, for only one of us shall fall over the edge. Anger? Fall over the edge? Matthew, that sounds like our murder. It appears that your killer sent this to your victim as a threat. They must be a fan of Firuzi's work to have used one of his poems. Alright, Matthew, we are looking for a killer whose mind gets lost in Firuzi's poems. And I agree, we should return to where we found the body. Ornate box. Oh. Eyes played tricks on me there. Oh, but I still got the first star anyway. Matthew, that case has snakes on it. Since snakes were the Vizier's emblem, this box must have some relation to him. Let's open it. And please be careful piecing that mirror back together. Okay. Matthew, that box had a dagger inside it. We know our victim wasn't stabbed, so this can't be a weapon used against him. There's something written on the blade, but I can't make it out. I'll get your brush, Matthew. Got it. Matthew, the text you revealed on that dagger says Sarah. Apparently it's a girl's name. But the dagger was in a box with the Vizier serpent symbol. I wonder how he and this Seraph are connected. With a bit of luck, Seraph is around here somewhere. Let's find her, Matthew. Ooh, that's not good on her wrist. Salam, are you Seraph? We believe this dagger is yours. Salam, you are most kind. Ibrahim gave it to me, the last gift I'll ever receive from him. The Vizier would offer you gifts? Why? Ibrahim was like a father to me. He took me in as an orphan and made me who I am. He even taught me how to read, so now I can turn to Feruzi's poems to help heal my pain. I understand your sadness. My father also taught me everything I know. Losing him caused me great sorrow. I only hope you find whoever committed this atrocity. Got it. I like this elegant mirror, Matthew, but how did it end up broken on our crime scene? You're right, the shards have a curiously specific pattern, and there's a hole in the middle. It's like something sharp pierced it. I'm not sure how this mirror relates to our investigation, Matthew, but if you have a hunch about it, we should send it to Theo. Go. And I'll see you guys when this mirror is done. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Back again, and let's get the results of the mirror. Theo, what did you discover about that broken mirror Matthew found at our crime scene? What broke it this way? It's lucky I'm such a knowledgeable archer, Matthew. See, this mirror was pierced by an arrow. That's why there's a hole in the middle, and why it cracked in this particular pattern. So someone fired an arrow into this mirror, but who and why? Dunno, but Orlando can tell you who this mirror belonged to. See, Matthew, this mirror's handle ends with a specific decoration. On it is written to my most precious in Ottoman, which makes me certain that this mirror belonged to the Sultan's favorite concubine. The Sultan's favorite concubine? That's Roxolana, so this mirror belongs to her. Matthew, two violent events happened in the same place. Surely they're linked. Let's hope Roxolana has some answers. Roxolana, we found your mirror. Keep it away from me. It will forever remind me of that horrible incident when he nearly ended my life. He? Who tried to take your life, Roxolana? Ibrahim. He shot at me with an arrow, but he hit my reflection, thank goodness. Thank goodness indeed. But how do you know it was him? That snake despised me. Ibrahim thought I had too much influence over the Sultan. He wanted me dead. It had to be him. He watched my every move, monitored my every activity. Like Feruzi says in my favorite poem, the snake is invisible until it strikes. And I knew he'd strike when I'd least expect it. It got me so flustered that I even worried he'd poison my stuffed melon. So you feared for your life. Maybe enough to get rid of the threat first. Oh no, Guard Matthew. I could never. This investigation of ours is pretty unique, Matthew. We met a talking parrot who might have witnessed the murder, but who wouldn't tell us anything? We talked to Serap, who only had praise for the victim, her adoptive father, unlike Roxolana, who was convinced the Vizier wanted her dead. Meanwhile, the eunuch confessed he and the Vizier were in some kind of humiliation war. Apparently, the Vizier poured human waste on Bashir from a balcony. Could his revenge have gone too far? After all, the murder also involved a balcony and a strategically placed statue. Then again, maybe we... What's going... Ow! Matthew, was that a shoe? Some kind of fight going on. We'll find out in Chapter 3. Don't go anywhere. And we're starting Chapter 3 of Pride Comes Before the Fall. This is where we last left off on. It sounds like a fight. Let's go break it up. Unhand me, you ruffian! Roxolana, you must return to the harem. Go there yourself. Whoa, what is going on here? Roxolana has run away from the palace. I am bringing her back. I know this looks suspicious, Guard Matthew, but I am afraid. The Vizier might be gone, but he still has friends at the palace. I can't go back. You are the Sultan's favorite concubine. You will be safe as long as you remain in the harem. Roxolana, I understand your fears, but Bashir is right. You have to stay in the palace. We are already searching for the Vizier's assassin. We cannot be searching for you too. You should both return to the palace at once. By Horus, Matthew, we better solve this investigation quickly before more suspects start running off. I agree. Since we're here, we might as well take another look around the thermal springs. Freaky photo of the parrot. Aha! There's another clue. Matthew, this map is of the Ottoman Empire. Orlando has one in his lab. But this one has a faded drawing around it. Can you reveal it? What about this tipped over oil lamp? It seems to have our victim's name on it. Ew, that substance in the lamp smells horrid. It's definitely not oil. Matthew, could this have been some type of foul play? Let's get a sample of that green substance. And if that's Zephora? But why isn't she moving? Parrots don't usually lie down like that. Oh no. Matthew, do you think Zephora might be hurt? If the killer knows the bird witnessed the murder, then they might have tried to silence it. Quick, let's open the cage. No wonder they chose that photo. Okay, got it. A snake. Matthew, this map has a giant snake surrounding the Ottoman Empire. And it's as though the snake were going to attack it. Wait, the Vizier would compare himself to a serpent. So is this snake meant to represent him? Was Ibrahim planning on stealing the empire away from the Sultan? You're right, Matthew. I need to wake up and smell the hummus. Of course the Vizier was deceiving the Sultan. It's a classic tale of betrayal. I wonder if Suleiman knew of his Vizier's true intentions. Let's go ask him. Most honest one, we humbly request your aid in understanding this map we found. Ah, so you've uncovered the truth. Yes, Ibrahim was a traitor. His ultimate wish was to become Sultan in my stead. Feruzi says it best in one of his poems. I laid a hand on your shoulder and smiled. You held my gaze and plunged the knife. Were you planning on punishing your Vizier for his betrayal? I had indeed started to take the necessary steps to protect my empire, and I knew that, in time, Ibrahim's greed would make him fall to his doom. But I did not push fate. I have a feeling that bird is dead. Oh, there we go. Celebrated a little too soon. Matthew, Sephora's alive, but very weak. She must have been poisoned. What? Put to sleep. Put to sleep. Someone put you to sleep, Zephora? Zephora, what happened? That's exactly what we're wondering. That's exactly what we were wondering. We need to talk, Chengiz. Chengiz, how did a parrot under your watch end up poisoned? Squawk, Chenzig innocent, Chenzig good. It's true. I never hurt Zephora, Guard Matthew. She's my only friend. Then how could you have let her get hurt? I know I was meant to watch over Zephora. I left for a little bit. I put her in her cage to make sure she wouldn't fly off. I just snuck into the palace to get some stuffed melon from the Sultan's dining table for us. Someone must have gotten to Zephora while I was away. Too much talk. Walk. Murder talk. You're right, Guard Matthew. The killer obviously tried to prevent Zephora from ever telling us what she may know about the murder. I'm really sorry, Guard Matthew. I swear I won't let Zephora out of my sight from now on. Chengiz is innocent. Let's get this foul-smelling substance from the Vizier's lamp to Theo, Matthew. He'll tell us what it is. Alright, and I'll let the green substance run its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you again. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the green substance from Theo. Theo, what was that atrocious substance in the Vizier's oil lamp? It was a kind of acid. Remember what I told you about acid, Nebbit? That is dangerous and burns the skin. But then, why would the Vizier keep some in an oil lamp? I don't know, but he's lucky he didn't get burns from handling such a dangerous acid. Burns? Matthew's right. Seraph has an injury on her hand. Red blotches with some blistering. Sounds like a bad acid burn to me. So Seraph has something to do with that acid-filled lamp. But in what capacity? Let's go ask Seraph about this, Matthew. Seraph, how did you get that burn on your hand? I had an accident, that's all. An accident involving this lamp guard Matthew found, perchance? So you already know. I swear I did not wish to harm her. The Vizier ordered me to do it. The Vizier told you to hurt someone? Who? Roxalana. Ibrahim hated that she had the Sultan's ear. He said a Sultan should only listen to his Vizier. I couldn't refuse him. Ibrahim took me in when I had nothing in the world. I owed him everything. First I tried shooting at her with my bow and arrow, but missed. Then Ibrahim gave me his acid-filled lamp to throw at her, but I tripped and the acid spilled out. It was humiliating, but I'm glad I failed. I stole Roxalana's rose water to treat my wounds and ate some stuffed melon for comfort. But I knew I had to tell Ibrahim, and he didn't abide failure. So you had the guts to attempt murder twice, but were terrified of the Vizier? We'll be sure to remember that, Sarah. Matthew, the more I learn about our victim, the angrier I get. Ibrahim actually did want Roxalana dead. And it turns out the Vizier has sent his own adopted daughter, Serap, to kill Roxalana. Serap seemed distraught about it. Could she have turned against the Vizier? And let's not forget that the Vizier was planning on betraying Suleiman. The Sultan knew and had already prepared his punishment. Did it involve murder? Meanwhile, someone tried to silence the talking parrot, and I bet it was the killer. Who else could have wanted to harm the bird? I agree, Matthew. We need more evidence. Let's return to the library. That's where the victim was pushed from. Alright, Matthew, the victim was pushed from here, so there must be more clues. Do you think you could find something in that pile of writing accessories? Let's do it. And what are these pieces of fabric? Let's stitch them back together, Matthew. The killer's been one jump ahead of us, but we're on their tail. Moment, folks. Okay, now I got 21 stars. Well, I got 4 stars from the crime scene. I'm gonna get the last one a little later today. Got it. Those pieces were a turban of the same color and material as the Vizier's clothes. It must be his. Quick, Matthew, let's send the turban to Theo. Rosewater bottle. There was a bottle of rosewater among those writing tools, Matthew. We know the killer uses rosewater and that they were in this room. Do you think they dropped the bottle? Only one way to find out. Matthew, let's send this bottle to Theo. Okay, got that down. Now I got one more star to go, and we'll start up the analysis for the rosewater bottle, and I'll let these two run their courses. I'll have that last star collected well before then. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of the victim's turban, and let's put a killer behind bars. Theo, what did you find on the victim's turban? Was it the killer who tore it up? Definitely. I found a small tear in the back where the killer would have grabbed the hat. There were traces of cream where the killer held the hat. It was a pomade used to prevent sunburns with a composition closely resembling our modern sunscreen. Not many people in the Ottoman Empire would wear such a cream, Matthew. Only those with freckles, because their skin is more sensitive to the sun. Which means that your killer has freckles. Our killer's freckled skin may be sensitive, Matthew, but their murderous soul is as cold as stone. Alright, Theo, what did you find out about that rosewater bottle? Matthew, I found traces of stuffed melon on the container, so it's definitely your killer's. But I also found red fibers stuck near the crystal lid. Since your victim only wore green, these fibers must have gotten caught on the bottle while in contact with your killer's clothing. So it is your killer who wears this shade. Matthew, we're looking for a killer clad in red. I wonder if their cheeks will also turn red once you catch them. Matthew, we've gathered all the evidence. The power's in our corner now. All we gotta do now is confront the Vizier's killer. It's not Bashir. Wait a minute. Not Suleiman. Definitely not Chenzig and the parrot. Oh no, it's not Roxalana. She isn't in red. Took my time. Sarap, you said you owed your adoptive father everything, but you're the one who killed him. Me? He saved me from a life as a street rat, Guard Matthew. No matter what Ibrahim did, I was better off with him in my life. Even after failing to kill the concubine, like he ordered you to, you met him in the library to confess, and that's when things went from bad to worse. Ibrahim lost his temper, which scared you. You hit him with a vase, and then pushed him off the balcony and onto the statue below. Tell us, did Roxalana play any role in this? Leave Roxalana out of it. Fuck. Roxalana and Syrup in love. Fuck. Kissing, secret. Stupid bird. Fine, I admit it. I killed Ibrahim. I did it to save Roxalana. Guard Matthew, I noticed Roxalana as soon as she joined the harem. She was so beautiful, so gentle. It was no surprise when she became Suleiman's favorite concubine. One night I climbed the palace walls and entered the harem. Roxalana was awake and reading by candlelight. We went out to the courtyard and spent all night talking. We kept our affair a secret from everyone, including Ibrahim. We'd only meet in the dark of night to be safe. But then Ibrahim ordered me to kill her, just because the Sultan appreciated her kindness and wisdom. I was torn between love and duty. I owed Ibrahim so much, but I simply couldn't hurt Roxalana. I made sure my arrow missed Roxalana's heart and hit her mirror, and even covered my own hand in acid to pretend that I really had tried to follow Ibrahim's orders and failed. But Ibrahim would not believe that I could fail once, let alone twice. He was slowly uncovering the truth. I had to act before he killed Roxalana himself. So you murdered your adoptive father to save your true love. We'll have to see what Suleiman makes of this. Mighty Sultan, we bring you the one who killed the vizier. Sarap, but you were so loyal to him. I was, Your Grace, but I had to be loyal to my heart and my love. Your love? Yes, Roxalana. She and I are in love. Oh, magnificent one. Ibrahim wanted to kill her because he believed she had too much power over you. Did he now? Clearly, Ibrahim's mind was poisoned by his own ambition to have such absurd thoughts. Sarab, you acted to save an innocent life. You are noble despite your commonplace appearance. Like with so many things, it's not what's on the outside that counts, but what's on the inside. But I cannot pardon you for your crime. I banish you from the Ottoman Empire for the next 2 years. Time will tell if your love is true. You may bid adieu to Sarap, Roxalana. I do love you, Sarap, and I will wait for you. Wow, Matthew, I can't believe Sarap killed the vizier because of love. To think she was ordered to kill Roxalana but ended up falling for her. It reminds me of when I met my boyfriend Jonah. He'd also been sent to shoot me but failed on purpose. This scar is from that very bullet. Well, thankfully not all love stories start with attempted murder. And I do hope Sarap and Roxalana find their way back to each other. We have another couple to focus on. Matthew, we still need to find Penelope. That we do. We'll see you guys for a Stroke of Genius 4-5. Alright, we are back. Let's start our Circle Genius 4-5. I hope Serap and Roxalana end up having their happily ever after, Matthew. It would be so romantic if Roxalana waited for Serap to return from being banished. Unfortunately, we can't let Penelope have her happily ever after with Alexander. Staying here is too dangerous. No amount of love could save her from Renaissance diseases and war. Yes, what if Penelope catches the plague? Or what if Alexander catches the plague and dies? Or goes to war and dies? People trying to bend history to their will is exactly what time is supposed to prevent. It's sad, but we're going to have to convince Penelope to leave Alexander. We need to... Matthew, I knew I'd find you. Penelope, you're back. I am, but... Thank goodness you've come to your senses, Penelope. We were worried we'd have to chase you, and... I'm only here because I need your help, Matthew. Can we talk? Yes, Penelope, we definitely need to talk. And, Matthew, if you have time, I'd also like a quick chat. It's slightly urgent. I'll come with you to talk to Kai, Matthew. Let's see what she has to say. Penelope, we've been worried sick. What possessed you to run away like this when... You have a right to be mad, Matthew, but please, I need your help. It's Alexander. He's been imprisoned. The Sultan says that Alexander stole his Halline stone. It's a priceless ornament worth millions, but my Alexander never touched it. How can you be sure? Because the Sultan says the Halame stone was stolen at the thermal baths, but Alexander and I have never been there. Besides, I know Alexander. The only thing he's ever stolen is my heart. So you want Matthew to prove Alexander's innocence? Please, I will do anything for him. Even come back to the team if that's what it takes. Of course we'll help you. No matter what you feel right now, we are a team. Though I'm sad to hear you say coming back would be a sacrifice. Matthew, I suggest you and Jack go search the baths for the stone. Uh-oh, Matthew. Do you think these broken pieces are actually the Sultan's priceless ornament? No wonder Suleiman thought someone had stolen the Halame stone. It's been completely shattered. If this really is the jewel, putting it back together and returning it to the Sultan would prove that Alexander didn't steal it. I agree, Matthew. We better glue the pieces back together. Well, Matthew, the stone looks not that bad, but maybe we should still send it to Orlando for polishing. After all, we do need the Halame stone to be as good as new before we return it to the Sultan and free Alexander. Alright, Matthew, let's send the stone to Orlando. Six hours. What's going on, Kai? Is it about fixing the time machine? Yes. Matthew, I'm glad that Leonardo da Vinci agreed to come with us. He's already close to getting his original equations that made time travel possible. The only problem is, I sorta lost him. Leonardo wanted to go to the Sultan's library. He said the Ottomans were mathematical wizards and that he believed there was an algorithm he had to get his hands on for the time machine code. I told him he couldn't set up camp in the library, but that he could take my phone and take pictures of the scrolls. That way he could keep working in our lab. He was meant to come straight back, but it's been hours. Oh dear, Matthew. We better get Leonardo from the library before anyone sees that phone. Servers on Discord that I've joined. I even made one for myself. Oh! Parrot holding phone. Leonardo isn't here, Matthew, but the parrot has Kai's phone. Squawk! Sephora find treasure! She's obviously back to her old self, and it's lucky Sephora found Kai's phone, since she's just a parrot. Kai's phone, squawk! Huh, I wonder what people will think of Kai's phone is when they hear this parrot say it. Anyway, this phone could tell us where to find Da Vinci. Kai makes sure his devices are well protected, Matthew. Think you can still unlock it? Given the circumstances, pretty sure Kai's gonna understand. Love Zara. Almost like that. Let's get Kai's phone back to him, Matthew. Hopefully he'll figure out where Leonardo's gone. Okay. This is also 6 hours. Lucky me. Alright, I'll let both of these two run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Okay, we are back. This thing is almost done. So let's get the results of the Royal Jewel first. I really hope you managed to convince Penelope to return to the team, Matthew. I feel terrible for wishing for the end of her love story, but... yeah, I'm dreading it, but it has to be done. Anyway, let's focus on the Halame stone for now. How's it looking? As good as new, Matthew. The Sultan will never know it had shattered. Great. Alright, Matthew, let's get this to Suleiman. William the Magnificent, we heard that your Halloumi stone has been stolen and that you believe you to hold the thief. That is correct. The stone disappeared around the same time a musketeer came to deliver a letter. The man must have taken that opportunity to steal my jewel. It is disappointing that King Francis would hire such a scoundrel. I will be sure to share my thoughts with him in my next letter. Actually, most gracious liege, the musketeer is innocent. We found your jewel at the thermal baths. It had never been stolen, simply misplaced. My Halloumi stone. Look at it. It's even more opulent than before. I shall order the release of the French musketeer. Guard Matthew, accept this reward as a thank you. Nice. 20,000. Alright, Matthew, we did it. Alexander is free. Which hopefully means Penelope will be ready to listen to us about returning to the team. It's for her own good. Matthew, thank you for saving Alexander. We all know what the penalty is for stealing. But I guess now you want to talk about my running away with him. I know you disapprove, but disapprove isn't really the point, Penelope. You don't need my validation for your life choices, and love is a great thing. But it's true that it's not exactly perfect timing. You could wreck whatever's left of normal history by accidentally saying the wrong thing to Alexander. This affair is against time protocol. I know, but aren't all great love stories rooted in the forbidden? Sure, but they also all end in tragedy. Alexander is such a dream come true, my knight in shining armor. We know, Penelope. We know, but Penelope, staying here would mean being trapped in a time period where no one knows who you really are. You'd be living a lie. And when I think about the dangers of this era, diseases, wars, the way women were treated back then, and if anything happened to Alexander, Penelope, you know in your heart what you have to do. It's your choice to make. Come find us when you're ready. Oh, Matthew, I didn't expect you back so soon. I'll leave you two to work. Oh, I guess Theo didn't talk to you, Zara. Guys, this is the movie I was talking about. We better get going. See you, Matthew. So, thanks for getting my phone back, Matthew. There were a lot of photos of mathematics, so Leonardo obviously got what he went looking for. But then there's also a picture of Leonardo in some kind of natural baths. And then feathers. Lots of feathers. Feathers? That must have been the parrot. And Matthew's right, the baths must be the thermal springs. Okay, let's go fetch Leonardo. And I'll let Jack know we both won our bet. Ah, Matthew, isn't this place fantastic? Some relaxation always helps unleash the wonders of the mind. I believe your time machine's code is on the tip of my quill. That's amazing, Leonardo. So, all ready to return to the time machine? Wait, I want to show you my extravagant idea, but... Mamma mia, the wind must have blown my notes away. Matthew and I will catch them, Leonardo. They must be around the spring somewhere. Thank you. And here, Matthew, you should try this local treat. There it is. Wet paper, oh boy. Matthew, those are Leonardo's notes for our time machine. Good thing the wind didn't blow them too far away. But you're right, the water damaged part of the notes. We'd better salvage them. Leonardo's scrolls are as good as new, Matthew. I wonder if most geniuses come up with ideas while in a bath, like he has. Thank you for retrieving these precious notes. I'll be sure to properly wax them to make them waterproof. But first, your time machine. Matthew, I found the mathematical formulas I was looking for in that Ottoman library, and that soak got my gears going. I'm on the verge of a breakthrough. I'll come find you later. Matthew, Leonardo's been safely returned to Kai to continue working on the time machine's code. Hopefully Kai won't get too distracted. Matthew, I thought long and hard, and you're right. Staying here with Alexander is fair to neither of us in the end. I could never tell him the truth about myself, and I can't become entirely dependent on him either. I'm sorry, Penelope, but saying goodbye is for the best. I'll have to come up with some kind of excuse. Can you come with me to see Alexander, Matthew? I can't do it alone. Penelope, mon amour, thank you for saving me. Alexander, my dearest, I am so glad to see you safe. Then what is... Whoops, sorry folks. It's okay, it'll pass. Penelope needs to let it all out now so that she can move on later. Convincing her to break up with Alexander felt horrible, Matthew. Such sad faces. Maybe this will cheer you up. Matthew, I've cracked the code. The machine will be operational in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks? That's great news. Although I don't think we can stay here any longer. The Sultan has been kind to us so far, but we don't want to overstay our welcome. Ah, no? Well then, if we cannot stay here, why don't you come stay with me in Florence? Oh, could we really? That would be amazing. I have a big house and no family. You're welcome to stay and enjoy the wondrous sights of Tuscany. All right, Matthew, it's time to go to Florence. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't even realize my Bandicam wasn't even recording. we'll go ahead and it's the final one in this time period. June 20th, that's another Thursday. So before we check out the stuff, let's go back in and I'll have to check my videos to see where it stopped at, but if I can anyway. Well, unfortunately, I missed the part where Penelope and Alexander kissed at the very end. That's basically what happened. So let me see. Okay, well, I guess I can't go back and get that out of the way, but that's alright. But still, this one was a hard case for Penelope. You can't help but feel sorry for her, too. So anyway, I'll try to remember to get everything on tape, but that's alright. You can check out Pitching Ace 88's videos when he does this. So, Pride Comes Before the Fall is complete, and we'll see you guys for case 15 on June 20th. So for now, this is Matthew. See y'all later.